Alright, welcome guys. This is going to be a guide on how to get started in the Lost Life server. If you're a first-time role player, this will be super useful to you. Even if you're an experienced role player and you're just new to the server, you might find this useful. So, hang on guys, and here we go. So you're going to start off on this screen. It's going to be where you're going to set up your characters. So I'm going to go ahead and just create a new character for this video. And you're going to put in their name and information all right here. Make sure that you do your names properly. So you're going to want a proper first name and a proper last name. You'll want to use capitalization as well. Don't put in multiple things. Don't write a sentence for your name. Just try to make it simple. You know what I mean? So you can see I have some characters already. Johnny Fingers, Buddy Guy, Becky Byers, Jimbo Bartley. So you're going to want to come up with a name. And we're going to do Jimmy. And this is going to be Jones, a.k.a. Chief Jones. And we're going to go in and pick a birthday. You can put in some hobbies about yourself, but you don't have to. It's completely optional. And then it's going to ask you to pick where you want to spawn. First time spawning in, you're going to have to create your character. So it doesn't really matter where you select. It's going to put you into the character creation. Now, keep in mind, when you come into the character creation, you hit confirm at the bottom here to finalize your character. There's clothing options here as well. These clothing options are going to be super limited, okay? So this is not going to be the end-all be-all for your clothing selection capabilities. This is just to get your character some clothing and get him into the server. You can then visit a clothing store in the server to get all the clothing options available to you. So we're going to want to find a father, and we're going to also select a mother. Not sure which one was Chief Jones' mom. Let me go ahead and change this over to clothing. And we're going to go to torso. And we're going to change that so I can actually see what he's wearing. There. No, you know what? I'm going to go with this option. Just so that I can show you guys. Your torso, obviously, and then there's no middle. So for you new players, and you're like, well, why isn't there a middle area? That's going to be your t-shirt option. So you want to make sure that you have a t-shirt selected to go with it that's going to, fit appropriately as well. You can see right here my arms are popping through. Okay, a lot of times people will reference that as you have holes in your clothing. You just want to make sure that when you go through, you select some arms that are going to fit. Oh, looks like you're not actually going to be able to change your arms here. Well, that might be different when you come in here. This is probably going to change. The clothing options and things like that might be different when you come in here. But just keep that in mind. If you do have an issue with your clothing not fitting your character, you can see your skin popping through your clothing. That's going to be an issue with arms. So you just want to make sure you select the correct option for the arms. You can go down through pants. Select a pair of pants that'll fit your character appropriately. You can change the color if there's a color option available. Not everything will always have color options available to them. And then you can go through and pick out a pair of shoes as well. Keep in mind, like I said, these are not going to be all the clothing options. This is just to get you started, basically. Alright, so that's going to be pretty much everything I'm going to do under clothing. We're going to go back over to style, which is going to be to edit my character. And we need to put some hair on Chief Jones. I think that's I think that is his hair. Yeah, it looks pretty good. And we're going to scroll down. We can go to the face. Now you can change the variation of the face a little bit here. I'm going to make this. Oh, that is 100% Chief Jones right there. Give him some lip thickness. Oh, yeah. There we go. There we go. Make his jaw a little wider. Change the eye color if you wish. I think we'll go with blue. Change the squintiness of his eyes. A lot of this is to really make your character look unique. Now, you don't have to go through and select everything. Keep that in mind. You know, it's just what you want to make it. Brightness. Right here you can see it says brightness. That's going to be the intensity, basically, of the wrinkles. So if you want them a little less wrinkly, you would just change that up. Okay. So that was pretty quick. Pretty easy to do. That's going to be how we're going to start off Chief Jones. Obviously, the clothing isn't 100%, but this is just to get us started and head over to the clothing store. I'm going to finalize this. Actually, you know what? His eyebrows. Eyebrows don't look quite right, actually, now that I'm looking at them. Let's see if we got something. I might have to change his brow. Actually, that looks pretty good right there. I think we're going to go with that. I think I like the darker color. You can do a beard as well. We're not going to do a beard on this guy. We're going to leave it right there and hit confirm. And you really want to save your character? Yes. Now it spawned me in. And you can see that it's not where I had selected originally. Remember, that's only going to be after you create your character and you log in. Your first time logging in, it's going to put you over here right next to a car rental location and right next to the job center. So you should be able to start out and come right here to rent a vehicle. Just make sure you look at the prices. I'm going to go with the Journey. It's going to be the cheapest thing here. You can see that I also got rental papers with my vehicle rental. Now when you hit F2, which is going to be your inventory, you're going to see that you have rental papers right here. And you can see it also shows proof of ownership, the name of the vehicle, and the plate number as well. So that way, if you get stopped by the police and you have to prove if this is in fact your vehicle, you can do that. If you don't want this vehicle and you rented the wrong vehicle by mistake, you can just simply back into the circle right here, these chevrons, and you can return your vehicle. That will take the proof of ownership out of your pocket as well. We can come inside this building here, and this is going to be the job center. So we're going to go to find a job right here, and then you can go through and you can select whatever job that you want to be able to go out and do. So for this video, we'll just go ahead and apply at the taxi company. One other thing you can do, if you want to know where it is, right here it says location. You can see that it's highlighted. You can go ahead and click that, and then the mark will be put on the map for you. So it takes me right to the taxi location, so that so it's easy to find. Okay, now before we go over to the taxi location, there's a few other things you're going to want to do and take care of. One thing that I would recommend is to look at the key bindings for the server. So let me pull that up really quick. You can actually find the key bindings in a few places. So if you want to find it in server, you can hit F11. If F11 doesn't open the screen, you can type /help. And the reason that it wouldn't open with F11 is most likely you have your key binding set differently for the guidebook. So we can go into key bindings in a moment. But if you go to health tips, which is actually tech help, you can find in here muscle and body wellness, and right here is going to be a list of all of the commands in the server. Now, if this is hard for you to read, if you can't read that says vehicle lock or that says map or whatever, you can find this information in Discord as well. And if you just go into the community channel or the Lost Life channel, it will be pinned in those channels. And then you can open this and see, you know what I mean, for yourself. So keep that in mind. That's in Discord, and that is in the server as well. If you're having issues with your microphone and other people can't hear you, there is a section on the voice and microphone to help you out. And if you're having some graphical issues, it seems like you're having some texture loss, make sure you check out in here and you extend your texture budget. Okay, now the next thing that you want to do is you got jobs right here, and you can see taxi job right here. It's going to tell you about the taxi job and how to access things. You can do this for all of the jobs, so if you're ever confused on what to do or how something might work, check the job tab, and you can always ask in Discord for help as well. Just make sure you're doing it in the appropriate channel and you're not spamming a bunch of channels. Alright, so we're in our vehicle, and the first thing we're going to do is we want to go to the bank, and we need to get started with the bank. So what I'm going to do for the video purposes is we're going to just go ahead and teleport over here. This isn't something you're going to be able to do. You will have to drive over to this location. Now, this is a third eye city. So that means for a lot of interactions, you're going to need to use your third eye key. By default, it should be your left alt. So if I press my left alt button and I hold it down, I can see it says bank right there. If I move this around, you can see that when nothing is selected, it will turn white. When there is something that can be selected, you'll see, most times you will see a circle, a white circle that will appear. If I look away, you can see the white circle right there. And that's to give me an indication that there is something to be interacted with here. Now, if I let go of Alt, it goes away. If I hold Alt down and I left click, I will get a cursor. And I can click on bank at that time. I can let go of left Alt at this time. And my banking is open. Okay? You want to go to settings. And you're going to set up a pin. So I'm just going to do 1, 1, 1, 1. You can change your pin at any time. You come back to this location and you can change it. You can go to my overview now. And you can see I have $50,000 and $50,070 in the bank. We're going to go ahead and take some of that money out. So just to be safe, I'm going to take out $1,000. And we've set our pin. So now if we come outside here, we can see there's ATMs in the building. If we hold down our left alt muscle again, we can select the ATM. And we can put in our PIN. And now that opens up our ATM for us. So now we can use any ATM in the entire city by using our left alt muscle. Now, if your left alt muscle doesn't work for some reason, sometimes that can default to E for certain people. You can go to FiveM right here. Okay? And you're going to scroll down. It's not going to be too far down. It's going to be right here. Enable targeting. So you're going to want to look right here, and you can just click and change that as you need to. If you have any kind of conflicts or any buttons that are overlaying on other buttons, for instance, let's say every time you press, let's say you use B to talk for some weird reason, okay? When you press B, if your character is constantly pointing, okay, it's pretty easy to change that around. Just come into FiveM, and we're not going to look over here, okay? Let's just make this easy on ourselves. We're going to look over here, and we're only going to look for a B. And by doing this, we're going to eliminate some headaches of trying to look for whatever we think it might be. So we can see right here, B, open vehicle control. Well, that's not vehicle control that I'm trying to do. I keep pointing. So right here you can see point, B, point, and then you can change this to whatever you want to change it to. So if you do have conflicts, that's going to be the easiest way to find those conflicts out, is to just look for the key itself that you're pressing, not what it's doing. Okay, now that we have our ATM pin set up, we've got some money in our pocket, the next step that we're going to do before we head over to our job is going to be to head to a clothing store. So we're going to teleport over here. Now, I don't have my screen maximized, but you can see when I was in my vehicle, you can see the fuel level is getting a little low. It's not super low. I'm going to go ahead and maximize the screen just so that I can show you guys what I'm talking about. So now if you look in the right-hand side of the screen towards the bottom there, you can see that there is a bar right there. That is going to be where your fuel is. Now let's say, oh, it's hard for me to see it right there. I don't like that. You can just think, and anytime someone says think to you, that means that you're supposed to type it in, okay? So if someone says, hey, think HUD, you're going to type /HUD. And that will open up your HUD, okay? And now you can change this however you want. You can go with the classic radio view. You can change this over to this style. Or you can go to a text style if you want with all of that. Now, what we were originally talking about is the speedometer. So I want to change the size of the speedometer a little bit. It's kind of big for me. And I can drag one by one. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And now I can drag my HUD over to this location. And now it's right here. You can see press escape to exit this mode. If I want to, I can change one other thing, and I can be like, you know what? I want my weapon to be like right here, and my ammo right here, so I can just see it real nice and easy. And I have all of this stuff put into one spot. Now I'll hit escape, and you can see my HUD stayed over there. Now I'm gonna be honest with you, that's a little small for me, so we're gonna bump it up a little bit. Hit escape. Oh, I'm gonna have to move it again. Hit escape again. And we're gonna do one by one. And we're gonna drag that right there, and that is perfect. Escape. Okay, cool. So, now, about my fuel. Let's hop out of the vehicle real quick. Walk over to a gas pump. You can see you can either purchase a jerry can, or you pick up the pump. Pick up the pump, flex E. Someone is driving the train over there. When you walk up to the vehicle, you're going to get a prompt to press E. If you're not at the correct spot where you think the flat might be, just walk around the rest of the vehicle and make sure you find the appropriate spot. Sometimes it might be weird, but that's how you're going to fill your vehicle. Make sure that when you're filling up a vehicle, no one is sitting in the vehicle, or else the fueling process won't work properly. Also make sure that the last person out of the vehicle is the person that pumps the fuel into the vehicle. Unfortunately, you can't have your girlfriend sitting in the car and you pump the gas for her while she's sitting in the car. You would have to ask her to exit the vehicle. You would then exit the vehicle, and then you would be able to pump the gas. You would get into the vehicle first, and then she could get in. Okay, so we got our gas. We're going to go into our store. This is going to be another third eye interaction. So we're going to hit our left alt muscle. Going to put our cursor down. You can see, again, the white circle to give us an idea that there is something to interact with. And we're going to go ahead and click on that. Sometimes it will close because maybe you're not close enough to the shop. So if it does close on you, just take a couple steps closer to the interaction area and then try it again. Once we have the store open, you can see that there's a lot of different food options in here, as well as cigarette options. Some of these food items, like sandwiches, is going to be more filling than a bag of chips or maybe a candy bar. It's all in your own preference on what you want to be able to get. So I'm just going to grab a burrito And we're also going to grab a can of cola. We can hit close right here. And I'm a little hungry and a little thirsty. Not really too much to worry about, but for demonstration purposes, I'm going to show you guys how to use this. So, you have 3 options on how to use this burrito or this E-Cola in its current position. This row right here is going to be called your Hot Pockets. Okay, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can see 4 and 5 currently have something in it. So if I hit close, I can hit 4 or 5, and I will automatically access that item. So if I hit 4 right now, it brought my drink up. And in the bottom right-hand corner, you can see that there's multiple options for interacting with a drink. So you can go ahead and drink a sip. And then you can continue with your drink. And you can have conversations with people, walk around the streets with the drink, whatever you might want to do. If you don't want to have to keep drinking your soda, you can hit your page down a muscle. Not a button, it's a muscle. And when you hit page down, he'll just go through and he'll casually drink the soda until it is complete. You can also give it to someone else or place it on the ground so that you can come back and get it later. So if I wanted to, I could place this soda. Oh, placing it on the ground actually. You can see it down there. I can place this on the ground right there. And then I can come back and I can take the soda and drink some more of it, or I can just leave it there for some other citizen to be able to come and get a refreshing drink if they need one. Now, I said you had 3 options on how to do that. That was your first option, was just flexing your 4 to use it. You can also drag it to use right here, and that would also use it. Or you can just simply right-click the item and click use. So we're going to do that, and you can see I put the burrito in my hand, and it's going to be the same options except for being able to sit it on the ground for someone else to use. So I can eat this, I can give it to someone else, I can eat the entire thing, or I can just throw it, which is going to throw it on the ground, and now it's gone. Alright? So, we know how to interact with the bank, we know how to interact with a store, we know how to interact with a gas pump. There is going to be another spot that we want to head to, which is going to be over here to the DMV. So we're going to go ahead and teleport over here. It's going to be marked on your map as a driving school. So when we get to the driving school, we can pull into this spot. If you hit B, that's going to be your vehicle interaction menu. And you can change this. If it isn't B, I already told you how to check your hotkeys. So when you have this open right here, you can see you can start and stop the vehicle. You can also open your door, or you can click open to open all of the doors. Hit close, close all of the doors. These are going to be your window options, and these are all of the available seats. So this RV can sit 6 people. And you can see I can hit that spot, and now we're sitting in the back of the RV. That's also how you can switch seats. If you're in the passenger seat, you can switch to the driver's seat, or vice versa. If your vehicle also has extras, you can select the extras in here. Make sure that if you do select these, okay, so if I add this, I would need to go get my vehicle repaired, okay, to be able to technically install it. If you do this and someone is telling you, hey, you have a spider on your foot, it's because you didn't get your vehicle repaired and have your extras installed properly. Under lighting, you can control the lights for the vehicle. Settings is going to be the settings for this menu in itself, and you can change the scale of this if you wish to. You can change the default color scheme of it as well if you wish to. And then you can just hit close if you want to do that. This is going to be the driving school in this building right here. See, it says on the wall. And when you come in here, there is an ATM in this building in case you need some money. And you can see this marker right here. There is a woman here as well, and you can see that if you hold down your left alt, you can open the license shop. This is going to be to purchase an ID card or a driver's license. You're not going to be able to purchase a driver's license until you take your test. For the time being, or if you don't plan to have a driver's license, you can just have an ID card. That way you can identify yourself to the police. If you come into this area and you hit E, it's going to open the menu. In the bottom right-hand corner, it's kind of hard to see, but it's going to say theoretical driving test. 200. It's $290. It's hard to see because of the FiveM beta that's written down there, but you can hit enter, and it's going to open your driving test. Oh, it's $200 to the DMV. $200 for the theory test, and then $500 to actually take your driving test. You're going to go through this process, take this test, and we're just going to go through this really quick. So if you're driving on the highway, it says 80 miles an hour, 80 miles an hour. If you're going to a residential area, you need to slow down. Any prior indication about residential? All right, cool. So we completed our test. Hopefully you completed that as well. Your next step is going to be to step out of this circle and then simply step back into the circle. Now when I hit E and it opens the driving school menu, you can see that there's a driving test, a motorcycle skill test, and a truck driving test for your CDL. So just select whatever appropriate license you wish to acquire. I'm going to go ahead and get my driving test. It's going to put me into this vehicle. It's going to take the money automatically, and then it's going to put this marker in front of me. I need to simply drive to these markers. If I look in the bottom left-hand corner on my mini-map, it's also going to show me where I need to drive to. Now, if you speed, that is going to be an infraction on your test, and if you get too many infractions, it's going to go ahead and fail you. So, make sure that you're not speeding like a maniac and causing yourself to fail the test. Again, you can see the green marker. Make sure you don't miss any of these markers as you're going through your test. It says that the speed limit is set to 50 miles an hour. If I want to make this easy on myself, what I can do is I can use my shift muscle to set my cruise control. Actually, I'm sorry, it's not the shift muscle. It is your cap lock muscle. And again, you can go into your key bindings and you can check on this if that is not working for you. Sometimes people's key bindings are not the same when they register in the server. But again, it's going to be your cap lock muscle by default. And if I want to make sure that I'm not speeding, the way that the cruise control is going to work is it's going to work more of a limiter than it is just automatically holding your speed for you. So you might say, well, that's a little confusing. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Okay, well, let me just explain to you really quick here. We're going to get our speed to where we want it to be, 35 miles an hour, and I'm going to hit caps lock. At the top, I believe it just said that my cruise was disabled, probably because I already had it disabled. So I'm going to get my speed again to 34 miles an hour. And now my cruise is activated. And if I hold down W, or acceleration, I won't exceed the 34 miles an hour that I set it to. Now, if you're saying, how did you set it? You just get to the speed you want to be at and press your cruise control button. Muscle. So, here was a marker. We got to make sure that we're not missing these markers. Okay, they will be marked on your map. You don't have to sit at the full length of red lights. You can run red lights. If you just full out run red lights, you should expect to be stopped by the police and ticketed. If you stop at a red light and you treat it like a stop sign, that is acceptable. As you can see, our cruise control is still set. We are doing 34 miles an hour. and I'm just holding down the acceleration key. You can see I missed a circle right here. So make sure you go back and you get those circles. That is important. Or else you won't be able to proceed with your test. Alright, we're on the highway. It says we can do 80. I'm going to get my speed up. Just went through that circle. It counted. On my mini-map, it's showing me the next one to go to. And we're going to get our speed up. Probably about 70. Oh, I went over 80, and you can see I got one mistake listed. There, we just got our next marker. It's telling us to go to the next point. If you want, you can fast forward through this section of the video. It's just going to be completing the driving test. All right, we're at 77. I'm going to put my cruise control on. Oh, I actually had disabled it because we had already had it enabled, apparently. So I'm going to re-enable it, and now we are at 77 miles an hour. I don't know how that happened. So currently, I have 2 mistakes. Get 2 out of 8. If you get 8 out of 8, you're going to fail your test. You're going to have to do the whole process over again. Oh, I just got another mistake. I was doing too fast in the city limits. All right, impressed. Don't forget to stay alert while driving. So my driving test is complete at this point. I've been successful. We do need to get back to the driving school now and return the vehicle. Oh, but look at that. I just got a mistake. So you got to make sure that you don't just start driving like a maniac once you get to that point. You can still fail your test. All right, final circle. We dropped our vehicle off. Congratulations, you've passed. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go back inside here. We're going to see the young lady behind the desk. Hit our left alt muscle to bring up our targeting. Left click. Still holding down our left alt muscle. Click open license. And we can just click and drag this over if we have the appropriate amount of money. Which you can see we do not. So we are going to step over here to the ATM. And I'm going to pull out 5. Oh, wait, that's not. What are you thinking? You got to put in your PIN first. Got a little ahead of myself. We're going to withdraw 550 bucks, or 5,000 rather, $500. Now, I have my license. Now, let's say that I'm stopped by the police and they ask to see my license. You're not going to give this to the officer. What you're going to do is you're going to use your license. Okay? So if you go ahead and you right-click it to use it, you'll pull out your ID and you'll show your ID. You can see it pops up on my screen. It's going to pop up in the screen of anybody that's going to be standing right next to you. Okay? And then that will just fade away and go off of your eyes. Now that I have my driver's license, we can officially drive. And we can go ahead and report over to our job location. Now, we're just going to do this real quick. We're about to finalize this how-to video to get you started. But let's say we get over to our job location. Many jobs are going to operate similar. When you show up at these spots, every job's going to be a little bit different, but they're going to be pretty similar. You're typically going to have a place to interact with the job, a place to get a vehicle, return a vehicle, perhaps get an outfit, clothing, things along those lines. We can see right here, this is going to be a cloakroom, so we can get our citizen wear, which is what we're currently wearing, or we can get our taxi wear. So now we're in our taxi outfit. If we get off duty, we can come back over here and we switch back into our citizen clothing. From here, I can see there's something I can interact with here. I'm not entirely sure what this is. This is some sort of a mess. Deposit stock, take stock. So that's going to be able to put items in there. Let's say you guys like to keep cheeseburgers and have cheeseburgers there for taxi cabbies to be able to access. You can put cheeseburgers in there and take them back out as you need them. Here's where you're going to be able to access your garage. And you can see spawn vehicle taxi. I'm going to hit enter. It's going to automatically put me into the taxi. And now we're in our car. I believe that it said that there was a taxi menu that you can open. If I'm not mistaken, you can also press F6. Yes, you can press F6 and also open your taxi menu. Here you can see that there is a billing option and also to start and stop your driving job. That's how you're going to go ahead and start as your taxi job. Like I said, with the F6, typically jobs that will have a job menu, it is going to be your F6 menu. Not every job will have a job menu, okay? So if you're a bus driver and you're saying, hey, my F6 menu doesn't work, bus drivers don't have a job menu. If you're a mechanic, you will have a job menu. So just keep that in mind. All right, one other thing that I'm going to go over here with you guys about the vehicle is going to be that you have a vehicle trunk and a vehicle glove box. To access this, you're not going to just open your normal inventory because that's going to display the ground over here. What you're going to do is you're going to hit your K muscle. And again, this could be different. You can check your key bindings if it's not working for you. I'm going to hit K, and now I'm going to have here my vehicle plate number, so that way I know that I am in my vehicle trunk. And I can take this money and I can place it in my trunk. And that'll stay in there as long as I have this vehicle. Now, if I lose this vehicle or I get rid of it, it's a job vehicle, so whatever items are in it are going to be lost. If it's a personal vehicle, the items in the glove box and the trunk will be saved. So here you can see is my glove box. It's not quite as large as the trunk with storage space and slots. All right. That's pretty much the basics on getting started, guys. Key bindings is going to be a huge thing. You just want to make sure that you are looking at that guide about the key bindings. It can be a little frustrating not knowing how to do certain things. Completely understandable. And that seems to be one of the biggest frustrations to new people is key bindings and just understanding how the world works around you. So make sure you do reference the keyboard picture that is in-game or in server. Again, you can type F11 or hit F11 or type help. And it's going to be under public health, muscle and body wellness. Okay. There is a lot to do out in this world, and there is a lot more that we could go over. It is very in-depth. It's a huge world, and it's very customizable. But this is just going to be a basic guide just to get you started, being able to use the shops, get your license, get your job going, and hopefully find your way in the server. If you have any questions beyond what was answered in this video, again, Discord is there to help you out, as well as the in-server guide, which is going to be continuously added to. We really want to get as much information in here as possible so that you guys have it available to you, right at your fingertips. So, good luck, everybody. I hope to see you in the server. And don't take it too seriously. It's just roleplay, and it's meant to be fun.